Let's go to Read Freely Fest in Columbia, South Carolina at the Richmond Library. Some of my favorite authors are going to be there. Kennedy Ryan, Jacquel J, Tiffany D. Jackson, and that's just to name a few.
Like a brutal, callous outlook.
As a calling, I believe that I was put on earth to write stories that will crater in people's hearts. I'm always looking for how my stories can be transformational in even the smallest way. You would have these conferences you would pitch, and so they were like, just to practice, nothing will come of it, but just to practice, pitch your novel, because they would bring in these agents and editors from like New York at the time. And so I was like, I have this novel that I didn't even know what I was doing when I wrote. Now the average romance novel is what, like 75,000. This was 200,000 words. Okay. No one's gonna buy this, right? No one's gonna want it. So I'm pitching it, and they were like, if they're not interested at all, they'll just be like, thank you. And if they're a little interested, they'll be like, send me a partial. And if they're really interested, they'll say, send me the full. So just for practice, I pitched to one agent and one editor, and they both were like, send me the full. And I was like, you want the full? Because they told me that the full, I'll just send it. And within like a week or two, I was signed with an agent, and an editor had acquired my 200,000 word book that she was like, well, this is too long, so we're gonna have to like cut it in half. So for example, I have a book coming out called Score. And that heroine has a particular mental health issue. She has bipolar disorder, bipolar disorder 1.
Quick, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Ms.
Grand
Tiffany.
Rising.
No. But I've been writing and working on books and stuff like that. And my first book that I was working on, that was a full book that I felt like, oh, this is something I could actually get published, is my first book, Allegedly. And I started writing Allegedly back in 2012. Those don't know, Allegedly is actually loosely inspired by a real case of a 10-year-old who was convicted of murdering a 3-month-old baby. And I remember seeing that case and saying to myself, like, well, what are they gonna do with her? What is her life gonna look like? And what would that entire story look like if it happened in Brooklyn? Since in those books. And I don't want you to walk away from that book without like really the lesson beating you against the head. And that's for adults, for kids, for everybody. I want you to walk away to remember what some of these characters have gone through, so that it can affect the decisions that you make in your everyday life. It affects the way you vote. It's the way you move through the world.
I had a wonderful time at Read Freely Fest. I got to meet so many different people, talk to so many different authors.